Welcome, everybody. As I see people joining, happy Friday. Welcome to, excuse me, our webinar. Today we are talking all things daily times, which I think you guys are going to absolutely love hearing what we are sharing about daily times today. So, I am Kimberly. I am a senior marketing manager on the account relations team here at GreenSlate, and thank you so much for joining us. We're going to get started in about 2 minutes. We're just going to give people a chance to join. I still see people joining. So while people are joining, if you want to find that chat button at the bottom of your screen and say hi, tell us who you are. How about if you tell us where you're joining from? And if you want to, you can tell us what you do in the production industry as well. We would love to get to know who's here today while we're waiting on everybody to join. So let's see here. Just awkwardly waiting for somebody to be the first to put their name in the chat. Aha, there we go. Missy's the winner. Thank you, Missy. Happy Friday. Oh, I see. Oh, and somebody that's working on Bree, that's working on Best Medicine season 2 right now. Awesome. Jarrett from Toronto. Nice. Sue, another person from Toronto.
Hey,
Very
Sue.
nice. Somebody from Buenos Aires. Nice. Wonder what the weather is like there today. That's Um, and somebody from Atlanta, New York. Love it. Love
Wow.
it. Ooh, cold and windy. Okay, was that in Buenos Aires? Okay. For some reason, that's surprising to me. So
We just assume it's always beautiful.
I know, right? Yeah. Oh, another person from British Columbia. Well, welcome everybody. Again, happy Friday. Welcome to our Green Slate webinar today. We are talking about how you can bulk create and mass edit, and you are going to be very excited to hear about daily times today and everything we have to share with you and how it is going to get your whole team on the same page and just simplify things, make things more efficient for you, which is, I think, a theme. We love making things more efficient here. So just a quick bit of housekeeping before we jump in. A bunch of you already found that chat button. So if you have comments during the webinar, that's the area to use is that chat button. If you do have questions, you'll see on your screen at the bottom the little box with the question mark. Please put your questions there. That way, if we don't get to answer all the questions live, if you've put your questions in that Q&A area, we will follow up with you in the next week or so after the webinar and make sure that your questions are answered. And I always like to say, if you're forgetful like I am, put your questions in whenever you think of them. You do not have to wait until the end to put your questions in. We will wait till the end to answer them, but put them in anytime you think of them. So, and then finally, we are recording the webinar. We will send an email to everybody who registered for the webinar with the link for the replay. So you can look for that happy mail to come in your inbox next week. So. All right, with that, I want to introduce our speakers for today. We have Jenna Kaye and Cady, who are our lovely hosts for today with all this great information for you guys. So I would like to have you guys start by introducing yourselves. So Kay, why don't you go first?
Hi, my name is Cady, and I've been in the industry for about 40 years. I started in accounting, always been in the AP side until about 10 years ago. Went into the payroll side, and I was pretty miserable till I came to GreenSlate, and then I was like, oh, I do like payroll. So yeah, that's pretty much my story. I can't wait to show you what we got. Jenna?
Thanks, Kay. Thanks, Kimberly. Hey, everybody. My name is Jenna Kaye. I'm the head of training here at GreenSlate. Like Kay, I also am a former production accountant. I started production accounting in 2009, although I stayed much more on the AP side. I also am a former GreenSlate user, and I have been fortunate enough to be able to create a program and to be able to do these webinars for you guys and to train you guys and to show you how amazing GreenSlate is, especially from the perspective of being an accountant. And I cannot wait to show you about what the daily times have to offer you. So, that being said, what we're going to do today, I'm going to give you a brief overview of the platform for those of you who have never seen it, just so that when you're looking at it, it is not a brand new strange place to be looking at, or different place to be looking at. We're going to talk about how Kay is going to show us how Monday she can put on our hat as a crew member or a department head and show you how they're going to bulk and or individually create time cards and daily times. Talk about how it is as for an AD to come in at the end of the day and be able to go very quickly to one place and grab a PR that I can redline as an AD and send out to the appropriate people. We're going to show you how easy it is on Tuesday morning as a lead accountant to come in and take that redlined PR, which is exactly what's in GreenSlate with a few changes, and I can build a hot cost in minutes rather than hours. And then we're going to show how, from a payroll accountant's perspective, how they can keep up on all of those edits. Did that crew member change their times? If not, let me give them a little urge. What can we do about that? We're going to show you how Friday we're going to do final approval and get everything uploaded and submitted. And then we're going to open up questions to all of you guys to ask based off of what we have shown you. So that being said, give me a moment while I share my screen and I'm going to give you a quick overview into the system. There we go. Awesome. For those of you that have never seen GreenSlate before, welcome to GreenSlate. Here is our home screen. We are all in one, and when I say all in one, I truly, truly mean all in one. We are also based off of roles and permissions. So I'm in here as a lead accountant, so I see everything. If I were in here as Joe Grip or just a regular crew member, I would only see time cards or tax documents. And if we have given that crew member permissions, then they would see bills or purchase orders, but only if they were given those permissions. Also, I'd love to point out how great our help is. Everybody has access to the same help from us. Live chat with a GreenSlate employee. It is not a bot. Phone number, even if you call and hang up, we will still call you back once. And email, if we don't answer within a few hours, I'd be very surprised. I also like to point out that we have the availability to have public documents here called project documents where everybody can go in and see their own documents. And see documents that should be shared for all. For example, blank W-9. Everybody asks for one of those. We've got those there for you, and lots of different forms for you in there as well. As I said, we're all in one. When I look over at my left nav, you're going to see I have every access to all these different pieces and parts of the system to look at. I want to see what a final check pack looks like. I can go into my checks module and I can look at a final check pack of something in there. Let's go ahead and look at this for AGA systems. I can keep drilling in and looking at final products, looking at transactions along the way. I love that the system allows me to do that. Here's a final check pack with signatures on it, who signed things and when, with backup attached, with POs attached, with everything attached. The beauty of our system is it keeps everything all in one. What I just showed you in a quick view of a check, we can do the same thing in payroll since we are all here for time cards or for daily times. Payroll, I can get start forms out in a moment. I can get time cards out in a moment. I can get whatever I need in a moment. I also love that I can track everything I need to do. I can see right now I have 2 purchase orders to review, and I know at least one of those is a rush. So I should probably jump on over to purchase orders and go ahead and review those that I need to review. And I also have the ability to have this custom grid view. I just grabbed a grid view that says Jenna next step. I created that. It gives me everything I need to do in a clear view, exactly how I want it. And one of the best things that I think about GreenSlate is that I can customize my entire environment for as I need it. So there's a very quick overview and jumping around a little bit in here and showing you guys a few things around there. So I'm going to go ahead and toss it back over to Kay, who's going to show us how to do these daily times.
Thanks, Jenna. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put my hat on. I am going to be Ted Knight. I am a lead man. This is my home page. You can see I'm Ted Knight up here. You can also see that he's been given approvals to handle some bills, some purchase orders. We got time cards, petty cash. We're going to go on and deal with time cards right now. I've got to create time cards for my crew. What I like to do is go into our batch create. When I go into batch create, I'm going to create blank time cards for my crew. It's very simple. I can either do clone from last week's if I wanted to, if I felt like it was very similar, but I typically can now do blank because it's so quick for me to be able to fill these out now. I'm going to apply the other default earnings, meaning if they had a box or cell phone, something else that was on their deal will now come through. And I'm going to pick my weekend, and we're going to do 5-2. And I'm going to simply pick all my people. But hold up, I'm not going to do Penny Marshall. Penny Marshall happens to be on set. I want to be in my PJs by the time Penny Marshall is off set having to do her time card. So I'm going to instruct Penny Marshall, since she's on set, to do her own time card. I will approve it at the end of the week, but for right now, I'm just going to create the rest of my crew. So I'm going to hit create time card down here. It's going to create 5 time cards, and they're going to appear here. Now, the old way that I was doing it was that I had to go drill in and add Monday, then save the draft. I no longer have to do that. We now have daily times. So I am so thrilled because now I simply go into daily times. I am at Monday of that week. Sorry, I'm not picking the right date. Sorry. Monday of that week. This was the blank time cards that I just made. So now I am able to now auto-populate those time cards from this grid. So I'm going to hit edit, and now I'm going to put in that the times for everybody. So I know that we came in, call was 7 for us. We broke at lunch at 1. We had 1:30, we were back in, and we wrapped at 18:36. Note, I do not have to put dots or anything. I don't have to do clicks, though you can if that's the way you are used to doing it. And then I can just hit these arrows and it will populate it down. Now, if I had Valerie Harper and let's say Halle Berry on my crew, they were late. So I'm going to come back up here, and they got in at 7:12. And I'm going to hit this button again, and those now are changed. Also, if their out times are different, I could just click. So I am specifying when certain people in my crew are a little different than other people. Maybe I've got even 2 different places we are prepping, and so their time calls are a little different. I can now handle that. And I don't know, what did that take me? Like a minute to do this. So I'm going to save my changes, confirm them, and now that is fed to that time card for today. That took me a nanosecond to do, and I no longer send the DTS. I'll let Jenna explain how that works. But now I have done, if I put my time cards in every day, I'm up by Friday, I'm just doing it and I'm done for the week. So let's go into, I want to now look at Penny Marshall because she was the one that we weren't doing her time card. So let me go to Penny really quick. And now I am Penny Marshall in here. So I am now 9:30 at night. It's late. I'm getting off. We're done filming. I know my lead man's in his pajamas. That's not happening. I open up my phone. I hit the plus button, and I am going to give myself a time card because I'm not going to fill out some piece of paper that I've got to now find the AD to give it to, or scan it up to or take a picture, or whatever I have to do to get it to some email. I am now just making my time card so everybody knows. I will create this time card. I will go to Monday and I will say we started at 7. We had lunch meal out, sorry, at 1 to 1.5, and we wrapped at 21:36. Whip, whip, whip. No cola. 36. It was a long day. I save the draft. I don't submit till the end of the week. I'm saving this and I'm going to keep building on this every week or every day of this week. So that is what it looks like for the department heads and individuals to get their time cards into the system, their times, their daily times in, so that now Jenna can show you how it helps everybody else.
All right, I'm going to share my screen. Give me 1 second. Awesome. Thank you so much, Kay. That was
You're
awesome.
welcome.
So now I am showing you guys what it's like from the AD's perspective. So here it is with my AD hat on. It's the end of day, it's wrap. And rather than me running around base camp trying to get slips of paper or getting texts randomly or checking my emails or looking for homing pigeons or smoke signals coming from the grip truck, I now have a single source of everybody getting everything to me because all of those department heads are doing exactly what Kay just showed you. And they're doing it from their phone, or they're doing it from their tablet, or they're doing it from their computer. Either way, they're still doing it in the same amount of time. It's so easy to do it on both. So all of my department heads are doing that. All of my individuals, like my onset dresser, like Penny Marshall, are doing that as well at WRAP. So I can even go home. And when I get home, I can open up GreenSlate and open up this production report. And here is all of the information I need to make my production report. Now, I'm an AD, and this production report is awesome and cool, but it's not the one I'm used to using. So let's be honest, I'm still going to use the one I'm used to using. But that's perfect because what I can do is export this into Excel. And what I've done is I've created my Excel based on how this looks. So I'm going to export this into Excel. It's going to open up for me. I'm going to open it up and see what screen it opens up for me on. I'm going to bring this over and I'm going to split my screen with that's the one that GreenSlate Excel gave me. And lo and behold, this is mine that I have created. So all I'm going to do is copy and paste those 4 lines into my version in here. Why did it work the other day? Of course it's not gonna work today. I apologize, everybody. This worked in every test run I did. But what we're going to do is we are going to pretend that that worked. I apologize. I don't know why it literally worked right before we started this. But luckily, I have already done that and prepped the one I needed to show you. So what I would have been showing you is that I came in here and I went, oh, wait, Jason Alexander, they put in 6:30, but it actually should be, or they put in 6:38 and it should be 18:30. It should be 6:30. So I'm going to keep that red. I'm going to mark that red. And then I'm going through and I'm checking everybody else. Everyone looks right according to my notes, except Buffy Summers put themselves in at 6 and they should be out at 6:30 as well, per my per my notes. So I'm going to go into here and I'm going to go in and make all of my red lines and what the reasons are. And then I'm going to go ahead and text each one of my crew members and say, hey, dude, hey, ma'am, hey, whoever, your time is wrong. Please correct in there. This is what I have it as it should be. Please tell me why I'm wrong or please correct me. And then I am going to take this at the end of going through everybody on my crew list and texting everybody who had the wrong out time. I'm going to take this and I am going to email it to my UPM, to my line producer, to my lead accountant, and to my payroll accountant. And that way, my payroll accountant can get it first thing in the morning and they can work off of that. So now we're going to come in and I'm going to switch my hats to now I am in here as my daily as the lead accountant and I need to come in. It's Tuesday morning and I need to do hot costs based off of Monday's times. So rather than me looking at this PR that the AD has cobbled together from all of those random things that's probably missing a bunch of out times, looking at what it should have been, looking at the call sheet, making a bunch of assumptions based off of lack of information that I'm not going to get till the end of the day, but I have to turn my hot cost in by noon. I'm now able to grab all of these times, pull those, and grab that email that I had just gotten from my AD, and I can take that and put that on my side screen. And I'm going to hide my left nav so I can keep that on here as well. I only do that if I need the real estate. And I'm going to come through and I'm going to have my hot cost on my other monitor because I'm working in my hot cost that I've built that I loved. And now I could have copied and pasted all of those times in there. And then I can look at my ADs and go, okay, wait, Jason's in there is 6:38, but it should be 18:05. I'm probably going to err on the side of let's go in case it's right on the one, whichever's more money for me. I'm going to give it in that in my hot cost. So I'm going to change my hot cost or leave my hot cost at 6:38 on this one. But on Buffy Summers, it most likely should be 16 or 18.5. I'm going to change that on my hot cost. This gives me the ability. I am now working from just a single source of truth with a list of anomalies. And all I am making decisions on now are those few anomalies. I am able to plow through my hot cost in minutes rather than hours, which makes my day so much easier. I am then passing this off to what my hot cost to whomever I need to. And then I know now that my payroll accountant has the exact same information that I do. Again, now we're on a single source of truth with just the anomalies listed, and my payroll accountant can go take care of that. So, with that being said, I'm going to pass it on over back to Kay.
Okay, I'm going to take it back. So now you'll see that I've taken the single source of truth that has been developing and I add day 1, day 2, day 3, and I work my whole week so that I can look through here. Instead of all the pages I would have on my desk, like here's 5 DTSs here and 6 things over here, and maybe I'm digging through emails that I have access to that get DTSs out of. I don't do any of that anymore. I look to see what has been agreed upon and what is the redlined items. So if I'm looking at Jason Alexander, say on Monday, and I've looked through my 5 days, or maybe it's only Wednesday and I'm just looking at the first 2 days of the week, then I'm gonna see that, oh, Jason Alexander has an issue. He has been contacted, and that I have another one down here with Buffy as well. So I then would take that information and I come into my time cards and I could go to all, or I can go to my current week that I'm working on. I'm going to go to all. I just like working in that way. I'm going to go to Jason. There's Jason Alexander. Here's the one that we're talking about that this has an issue. I'm going to drill into, because it's still in a draft mode, meaning that either the employee still has it or the department head that's created it has it. So, but anything with blue, I can drill into. And then I'm just going to come down to the note section and say, hey, Jason, I'm going to delete this note. I'm going to say, Jason, Monday's out time needs to be changed to 18.5 like the company electric. Um, these please change before submitting. Thanks. And then I can leave this message for him and he will get that. I could also text him and or the department head and just be like, hey, Jason's time might have been a key punch error. Can someone check it? I left a note on the time card. One of the things that is helpful about this is not only does the employee see it or the department head sees it, but I'm also stopping the bottleneck that's happening to me on Sundays and Mondays. It's maddening to have to keep rejecting a time card that I literally didn't know about. That's the issue. So I am now on the know so much sooner at this point when you process everything this way. The other thing is that if I'm giving time, like for Buffy, I'll leave the note, but I'm not too worried. I can add some time. I doubt she'll be upset with me. But in something like in a compliance where I need time taken away, I need proof that we are somewhat getting in contact with him because his time card might be late if he's not going to deal with this or address it. So having said that, I'm going to put back on my other hat, which is the hat that I wear as the lead man. And here we go. I am now Ted Knight. I'm coming back in. I've done my time cards for the week. What we see now is that they were pending everybody else's actions. Um, I am able to actually go ahead and approve. Oop, I'm not going to be able to do it that way. Whoops. There's one extra step here. Why is that? This should be on. Okay, so the step four is me literally. As you can see, my name is there. But let me tell you that if he's number four on the approval flow, then he would have simply gone like this. So let me give you the idea. He submitted, it went off to the employee, they signed, and he would have seen like number two or number three, however the approval flow goes. And then he would have been number four, or he could have been number three, and he would have approved all of them. And when you hit the actions and approve, this literally goes empty. So this would be an empty, he would have known on Monday now he would have to come back and create more time cards because the idea is that they go away. It looks like on the approval floor, I'm number four is what's happening. So sorry about that. But that's the beauty of it. Every department head that I've worked with on this loves the fact that they go away. And that's their favorite part. They feel like they've done their job.
That makes so much sense, Kay. Yeah, and it's you're coming down to that, single source of truth instead of, which I love what Jenna said, looking for homing pigeons or smoke signals coming from the truck. So, and then you get to the end of the week and it's all there, tidy and taken care of, and you know exactly who's done what and what still needs to be
Yeah.
handled. So, definitely so much more clarity for everybody there. Um, all right, well, if you have additional questions, please go ahead and put them in the Q&A now. What you can see on your screen while we're waiting for people to put some questions in is a QR code. Jenna and Kay run our pro training classes, and I highly recommend them. That, as you can tell, they know what they're doing. They've worked in the industry. They know our software. They teach excellent classes. So if you want to dig in deeper, I would recommend signing up for whichever pro training class makes sense for your particular position that you work in. If you're interested in going and learning more specifically about daily times, I'd recommend signing up for the payroll class because that's where you're going to get more info there. Um, so while we're waiting for some people to ask questions in the Q&A, we did give the opportunity for you to pre-submit questions when you registered for the webinar. So I want to start with those. So let's take a look here. So the first question that was submitted is, can crew call time get entered for meal penalty tracking? And I think we briefly touched on this, but Kay, would you handle that one for us?
Yes, so yes, you can. And I can show you that. We kind of touched on it when I'm going to take your screen if you don't mind.
Absolutely.
Um, we did kind of touch on this in the production report. So I'm going to go back to that week where we've got our payroll sitting. And you can see that all of these, this is under the production report. There is the meal penalties show up here. And even if you were to drop down this menu and say, hey, I want to see the money on that, then when you can save that view and you would be able to see the monetary value of those meal penalties as well.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Kay. Yeah, it
Mhm.
makes it really easy to see exactly what's happening there. And I know, Jenna, that also when you put the lead accountant hat back on, that you can then use those dollars exactly how you need to there too in tracking. So makes it
Exactly.
easy for whichever way you want to look at it there. All right, the
Exactly.
next question that was pre-submitted is they want to see how you compare the times on the production report to the times on the time card, and then use this in GreenSlate to communicate with the employee and the employee's manager and producer to resolve the issue. I think we really addressed this one, but Jenna, I'll toss it to you just to add a little bit of additional there.
Yes, I think we covered all of the points of that, but yes, as you saw, as hopefully you saw when I showed you, the production report, it lives and breathes and is created from GreenSlate. Everybody is working from GreenSlate, so there is no comparing, nor is there any communicating. The only communicating is with the employee, and that is still the AD reaching out to the employee, and then we know the ADs are not going to follow up on that to the fullest extent. So that's where our payroll accountant comes in to be able to leave those notes and follow up on it, and then track those crew members down and make sure that they make the adjustments as necessary.
Excellent. Thank you very much. All right. The next question is about if there's a place that you can sample and play around to learn you use the system and learn the system more. And I'll answer that one. Definitely, if you sign up for one of our pro training classes, you do get access to our what we call our sandbox. And you're able to retain access there until we build a new sandbox, which is roughly every 3 months. So you've got plenty of time to play around, learn the system, yeah, do whatever you want in there. So, all right. And then the last two questions, I'm going to bundle these together because I think they're related here. So, just wanting to know if Daily Times is available for Canada and if it's possible to adapt it for non-US locations. So, Kay, can you take that one?
Yes, yeah, daily times are available in Canada and any non-US location. If you're submitting a time card in the system, you're getting daily times.
Perfect. All
So,
right. Thank you. All right. And then we're going to go to the questions people have submitted. I think I forgot to say, but I think probably everybody here knows how to use a QR code, but I'll just say it just in case. If you want to scan this, just pull out your phone, take a picture, and the link will pop right up, which I forgot to say earlier. So, but I'm fairly certain you guys know how to use a QR code. So, all right. Let me see here. So first, I wanted to make one comment that repeat one comment that came into the chat that I think is interesting, and somebody else did too. That Jarrett put that it's interesting that you don't have to use 24-hour time, and the system understands what you want.
Yeah.
So I don't know if Kay or Jenna, you want to speak to that, but I find that fascinating and
it's
really,
my It's my
I love it.
favorite. I'm
Yeah.
I'm it's my favorite. It's
yeah,
it even knows you don't have to figure out AM time anymore either.
No.
If it's one something, you can just put 124 and it goes 1 a.m. in the morning. It knows based on when you started work, so it's reading through and yeah, you can do if you're a military time person and that's your jam, you can do that. If you do clicks, you can do that, but it will just do the actual time.
yeah. It works for
And you can do
anybody, whatever way you prefer, right?
Yep.
whatever way you prefer,
Yeah.
or if you want to be super chaotic and do every which way every different time, you can enter it every which way you want.
And it
It's
will figure it
amazing.
out.
We'll figure it
It
out. I
will. It's
love it.
amazing to watch.
I
Yeah.
love it. I do see there's a couple of questions that were entered in the chat. If you guys could put those in the Q&A, I'd appreciate it. So there's just, I don't want to name names, but if you put your questions in the chat, please put them over in the Q&A. That way we can follow up if we don't get to them. All right. One of the first questions I want to throw out there for you guys is somebody wants to know for the AD to be able to see the PR for the day, would that permission be payroll department head?
Um, it depends on how your project is set up. Every project is set up a little bit different, but we would create that role for you to make sure that your AD gets the permissions that they need to be able to see. I can't say it's a direct yes or no because I don't know how a project is set up, but there is a way to do it. It does depend on how your project is set up.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. Will it show a force call, i.e. Monday to Tuesday, in Tuesday's hot cost?
It will, I believe if you like if I just looked at this earlier that if you're on the production report, you can actually do check rest violations and it will show you if there's one. So you have access to it the minute somebody's put their time in. So if they finish putting in their times for the day and I wake up the next morning and I push, like if I want to set up my view with the rest violations in there too, so that every morning I don't have to click that button, I can just scroll right down my crew and see if my hair and makeup department's driving me crazy.
Love it. Okay. Next up, what happens if an employee submits instead of saves on the daily times? And there's a part to this. Well, why don't you answer that one first, then we'll come back to the next
You
part.
can unapprove it. You basically can bring it back. You can just unapprove it.
Okay.
So
Sounds
you
easy
can get it
enough.
back.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then the part two to this is does the hot cost tab actually provide calculations based on the start work deal points? Um, and the
So
IA-DGA contract terms and conditions.
I'm going to take that one. And I also see another question here that I'm going to loop into it. And that question is, will GreenSlate have a hot cost feature where we'll
Yeah.
be able to download the weekly hot costs based off of all the time cards that we have? Both of those are kind of entwined together. We are beta testing hot costs now. It is a beta test. As all of you know who do hot costs, they are intricate, they are nuanced, they are personal. So we are starting with daily times, getting everybody used to that, getting that going, getting everything wonderful with that, and rolling out a hot cost or trying to roll out a hot cost that encompasses everybody's needs. So that is being beta tested. I don't know when it's going to actually be released, but look for it coming hopefully sooner rather than later.
Yeah, for sure. Yep. And like you said, hot cost is definitely intricate and there's so many different parts and pieces to that one. So, all right.
Yes.
Thank you, Jenna. Next up, can you enter daily times for new hires that don't have starts yet?
Oh.
Uh,
We have a feature called a prelim. So if they've done everything that they're supposed to do, that means we should have sent them a deal before they started anyway. But if they have like done their I-9 and done their start paperwork, then there is a feature that can be turned on prelim, meaning they can put in daily times and let it be. It just won't turn into a time card till production has done their half, which is to sign off on that start paperwork and to verify that I-9.
Excellent. Thank you, Kay. All right. Next up, I think, yeah, are we able to get production access to download the daily time sheets for their day files? And Jenna, do you want to handle that one?
Yes, so you can. We can give read-only access to somebody to different aspects of the system and give them read-only access, create roles based upon that. So again, going back to, I think we addressed this in another question that um, we can recreate roles and based off of what you need it to be, to give the people the right access that we need to do. We are able to hone in and give that specific access that's needed. In addition, if we can't find the right access, we can always just download them and send them over because that downloading that exporting to PDF is so simple and so easy, and you can do it in multiple days, very easy, and just shoot that over in an email if you had to over to your POC.
Yeah, that seems easy enough, right? All right, we're getting close to time. I see two more questions, so I think we'll try to answer these two questions and then oh, a third one just popped in just right as I was saying that. So maybe we'll try to answer all three. All right, next up, will there be an option to insert budget figures? I think this is getting into, and it's
It's the
into the
hot
hot
cost.
cost report. So I think, do you guys want to handle that or do we just want to remind everybody that it's a feature in beta?
That will be
Yeah.
answered in beta. Yes, you
Yeah.
will be able to do so, and it will be based off of your budget in there but when we release it in beta. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So definitely just want to remind everybody that that is a beta feature. It is not something generally available at this moment. We know that people are excited to see it once it's in the system, but it's not ready yet. And we don't like to release things until they're ready, because we want to make sure we're giving you something good to work with, not something frustrating. So, um, all right, let's see here. Are these saved inside the GreenSlate system as a report? I'm assuming you're referring to these as the daily times. Um, how can you reference a prior production report?
Oh, very easily. I can show that very quickly if you'd like me to. You're
Sure.
not really, all you're doing is you're just it's because the system is live. Let me share my screen real quick. Because the system is live, what I just have to do is share it. So this is mine from, if you see the date I did was 420. So this is the PR from 420, and any changes that have been made since then will be reflected in here. And if I want to see a different day, I just go to a different day. And there's my 421. So they live in here. All the data lives in GreenSlate. They're not, I could run reports, but I can just come here to my live screen and just pick the day. And there's my production report for that day right there.
And
And,
while you're
and
sharing, there's like a follow-up
Yep,
question to that. Is
absolutely.
there any ability to leave notes in this area, or is this purely data?
This one is purely data
Okay,
as of right now. Hot costs will have the ability to leave notes, but right now this is purely data.
excellent. Thank you very, very
and note to
much.
self too, when these time cards have been processed, you can still look back at that day's production costs. You don't
Yeah.
have to like, it doesn't go away. It's going to be there.
Yeah, excellent. Thank you, Kay. And thank you, Jenna. I've added their contact information on the screen. Happy to have you follow up with them if you have questions. So feel free to reach out if you have more things you wanted to discuss, or you can use the QR code that's on your screen here also to register for one of the pro training classes where they will also go into a lot more depth with you there. So I want to thank everybody so much for joining us today and spending a little bit of your Friday with us. We really appreciate it and hope you enjoyed seeing Daily Times as much as we enjoyed showing it to you. So, all right. Thank you, everybody. Have a fantastic weekend.